Okay, I had to switch over to the graphics card as the output. Because sometimes you can use the software encoding to make it work. But actually, my headset audio, I gotta reset that. Hold on. All right. Okay, you should be up. Talk for a second.
Hello?
Yeah, okay. All right. Sorry, folks. We moved over to a different piece of hardware here and should be allow us to do some better streaming. And I think that's what we got. Hold on. Profile. Okay. No, I think we're good. Ah, this is what I'm gonna do here.
I gotta go to the bathroom real quick.
All
Let me
right.
start the thing at all.
All right, folks. Welcome in, everybody. We are in. Where are we this week? That's it. We're in Istanbul this week. Welcome to Turkey. Um, as we get ready to go here, I think we're at 7 races. 7 races remain on the calendar. 2 points separating the title contenders at the top, and a slick day here in Istanbul. For some reason, last year, this race was a bit of a mess at the start, and it might be that same bit of a mess here at the start as well today. It is round 16 from Istanbul here, and it was raining. It was raining overnight. We are going to start on inters, and because there's been no F2, there's been no F3, there's been nobody on the track, and so the track is just wet. Things of note: Valtteri Bottas will start on pole, even though Lewis Hamilton put in the fastest qualifying time yesterday during the quali. The reason being is that Lewis is getting a new internal combustion engine. He has a 10-point grid place penalty for replacing that engine, so he will start in 11th. Now, you're probably asking yourself, wait a second. But, Bottas last week changed an engine, and then Verstappen changed an engine, and they started all the way from the back. And actually, Carlos Sainz is actually starting from the back after replacing a power unit. Yes, there are 6 components to an F1 car's power unit. Changing 2 of those gets you a 20-point penalty. Changing the whole thing gets you 60 points, but obviously you can't lose 60 places. There's only, right, 10 or 20 spots on the grid. So if you change any 2 components, you get you start from the back, but if you change only one of the 6, which is what is going on with Lewis Hamilton, you only lose 10 positions. Now, granted, the internal combustion engine is a large part of that, but they're all treated equally. So that's why Lewis only has a 10-place grid penalty and not a full 20. So he gets to start from 11th. Red Bull and the Red Bull Honda team in the white this week. Fran, you've been calling out this quite fantastic livery. Recall that it should have been Japan weekend, and we should have been bringing you this race at 10 p.m. Pacific last night instead
Yeah.
of 5 a.m. this morning. But that race was
It would
canceled.
actually would have been perfect last night. The Deontay Wilder and Fury fight ended at around basically 1 a.m. So we
There
would
you
have gone
go.
straight into this. It
We
would have been incredible.
we would have
So it
gone
would have been a
straight
really
in.
good night.
It would have worked perfectly. For those of you watching on the YouTube, make sure to jump into Discord too. You can watch the live pictures there with us while we sort of give you our opinions and give you what the race is going on here. So in any case, actually a decent as we look through the grid, a decent qualifying for Mick Schumacher this week, starting in 14th, tying
Yeah,
his best.
I was super
Yeah,
impressed and actually kind of happy for him. That's actually really awesome. And you could also see that Mazepin was having trouble with the car, but he was still able to get into Q2,
he
which is pretty
was.
impressive. That car itself struggles with the downforce. It's actually not fast enough really to go around doesn't have enough downforce on the actual car to be able to go around, especially turn one. You saw them spinning off there multiple times. It was pretty disappointing. But another call out on the qualifying would actually be George Russell was super close to going into Q3, except he had the time. And then on the last turn, I think it's turn
14.
14, right?
14, yeah.
The 14 is the last one. On that last turn, he spun out, put too much on the back rears, and he lost his time there. And He did take responsibility, saying it was his fault, but it was just kind of disappointing overall. Latifi did pretty well as well. But I would have to say, overall, I'm impressed with Bottas. I mean, obviously Max is going to be up there, but I was impressed with Gasly again. I mean, Gasly again up into fourth when he doesn't have problems in qualifying. And the last race he just had problems in qualifying.
Yep.
He always basically finishes in the top 10,
Yeah,
and
he's
it's pretty
been
impressive. Not
tremendous.
gonna lie, he's been really consistent. And the weather here looks absolutely atrocious, which should make for an extremely exciting race. To be completely honest with you.
Yes, so it is wet, but it is not raining. So what will be
It's
very
basically going to be the when is the track dry enough to put on slicks
exactly,
discussion,
exactly.
and when is it not? Whoever gets that right will probably win the race.
Yep, precisely here. And so if you're watching this race with us and you feel like these cars are going backwards, it's because they are.
Is it
This
just
is
me or they have different colors above the? They have purple now above the halos. That used to
uh
never. Or maybe this is the first time it's been dark enough for us to
yeah,
actually see the
maybe.
lights.
Maybe.
It may be that, but I've never seen the purple above the halo. That's pretty cool. And yeah, so if you were watching qualifying yesterday, you were actually basically able to look at the track. It was very similar to this, but it wasn't necessarily wet enough to run on inters. But they were still. Here's Gasly. I just want.
Okay, basically same conditions for the race.
Yeah,
But
same
yeah,
conditions for
finish
the
your thought
race
because
is what
it's
he's
a
saying.
good one here.
Is that they were basically able to run on a very similar track like this yesterday, but the difference was that I already had like 1 to 2 hours of it actually being able to dry off. And then what you actually
From
see
practice, yeah.
is that is if the track does eventually dry for them to use slicks, you will still run into a lot of situations where there are tons of puddles on this track and there are really undry lines. And the problem is when the track is like this, it's freezing there. You can see people in hats, you can see them in jackets. It's really hard to get any sort of warmth into the tire so you can actually get grip even after it starts to dry off because of how cold it is. So that is kind of an interesting, that is something that we're dealing with in qualifying. So we'll see how they kind of adjust to that.
Yeah, a lot of spins right at turn
Yeah.
one. It is a
I'm surprised
blind
nobody
turn.
actually ever went into the wall at turn one.
That's yeah. There seems to be enough of a gap that people aren't like crashing themselves into a wall. Like nobody actually hit a wall,
Because
but people were in the
literally
grass.
like six people went into the grass. Yeah, I
And
was
then
really
this turn
surprised that
14
nobody.
here was another hot spot. You mentioned George Russell going off there, but
Also,
like I mean,
Leclerc went off there, I think,
Science
on
went
his like
off
second to
there.
last lap, or Signs too. Yeah,
Yeah,
Signs has the engine changed today, so
yeah,
he's
he's in the
unfortunately
back.
did not care. Yeah, he's in the back.
But yeah, five different cars in the top five, which makes this
I
quite
love it.
quite interesting.
Yeah, I don't have
Yeah,
a problem with that at all.
I exactly. So this has been this is going to be quite an exciting start. But as you mentioned, trouble getting heat into the tires. Some teams, especially the high downforce teams, were able to get heat into those tires. The teams with less downforce really struggled with that. So we're going to see what that how
Oh,
that
this is
plays
what
out. And that heat in the tires is going to be incredibly critical right off the start. You've seen Verstappen have really good starts here, and the Mercedes teams not as much, right? But Lewis is going to be making a charge from all the way back in 11th. And so he is going to be contending in this race too. That's going to be one of the storylines we watch is how Hamilton manages to make his way up the grid throughout the
Yeah,
day.
so this is basically the reverse of last race. You kind of Red Bull takes the engine change, they were able to get second. Mercedes takes the engine change. What can they do?
Yeah, but they're not
Where
starting
do
from
they div and
20th.
no, 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 100%. Where
Right.
do they div and dash and kind of exchange points there? And nice Aston Martin SUV as the pace car in the back, and the lights should be going out here soon.
Yeah, and we have lights out here, and the race is on as Bottas is going in, leading into turn one, and Verstappen quickly following. We have Alonso, woo, who goes off there at turn one. Little bit of a love tap from behind, I
Oh
think. So
yeah,
he started
Gasly
in fifth,
definitely hit him out.
and
And then
he
Checo's
manages
right
to
next to him,
recover
but
it.
he actually spun perfectly right back onto the track. I think Gasly definitely hit him. I think there was no other AlphaTauri there as well. That was the other comment I wanted to make. Yuki Tsunoda spitting out 3 times in qualifying basically, but still somehow qualifies in Q3. So credit to him on that one. And then also super disappointing qualifying for Daniel Ricciardo. I forgot to bring that up. Kind of a mistake from the team and him for not being able to get him on the track when it was the driest. It is pretty much Impossible to see who's behind who.
Yeah, at this point, very hard to see with the spray and all cars there. It's Ricardo
It
and
is
Sainz
very
are going to have a little
fascinating. There
battle.
are 3 or 4 different lines people are taking. Like you can see 3 cars took an inside line, 2 took an outside, 1 took a middle line.
Yeah, unfortunate right now. Alonso starts from what? He was starting 5th or 6th, and now all the
Yeah,
way
he
back
had
down
an
into 17th.
extremely good qualifying managing those
Yes.
tires. He had a fantastic day, and I'm like I said, I'm 99% sure Gasly tapped him.
The bit of concern coming in for Red Bull, and this is
A
in sort
sector
of in
2
an
yellow flag,
article.
which means we haven't seen that yet.
Sectors 2 and 3. We're not actually sure exactly what was causing it. Actually, track clear, but the race pace for Red Bull wasn't quite there yesterday as it was for Mercedes,
Correct.
despite the fact that
Ooh,
Verstappen qualified there in third. He was about 3/10 off still the fastest lap times that
you'd have to
car's
say
getting.
here kind of who's benefited most off these starts. Lewis goes up 2 places, and then Perez going up 2 places, and is in the top 4. The Red Bulls need to be close together to be able to have some sort of
You'll
to
be
be
able
able
to
to
do some
help.
strategy. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
And here's Hamilton, I think, battling with Tsunoda right now.
Yep.
Tsunoda
Yes,
is
he
not
is.
going away easy. I'll tell you that much.
Yellow flag in sector 1
Sector
that
one.
gets
So
removed.
that's the first turn
That's
where
turn
everybody
1.
spins
It's
out.
definitely
I
turn
guess
1.
they
Somebody
spun
went
out and
off the
got back
tracks.
onto the track because it's clear.
And also track limits being another
Oh,
issue here for the day. You
yes.
see the red and the white,
It's
like
no longer that.
it's not. Yeah, the track limits is not the red and the white. The I don't know. I don't
It's
know
the
what
white
you
line.
call that. It's the white line. It's not the
Yeah.
red and the
Yeah.
white runoff area.
Typically on most tracks, you're able to use the runoff as that's the actual border, but the actual border of track limits is the white line. So you can go onto it, but not your car still needs to be touching the white line.
All right. Oh, okay. And then so
Also,
from chat.
Sonoda, I
Yeah.
would have to say Sonoda has actually extreme experiences in these conditions. Racing on inters and being from Japan, it actually is a huge advantage that he has. This is like very normal conditions for him to drive in. So he's extremely experienced with him. He's not someone you'd want to sit behind in these conditions. And I would tell you in dry, Hamilton probably passes him already. He's extremely fast in these conditions. He was extremely fast in them yesterday as well, even though he was on slicks.
All right, chat. Make sure to jump into Discord if you want the live pictures, and then join us back here for the conversation. Let us know who you think is going to take this race. So far, it's Valtteri Bottas with a 134 lap time. We were seeing lap times down in the 123s
I don't think Red Bull can
yesterday during quali.
catch. I don't think Max actually has the pace to catch him.
Maybe not on inters. Certainly not right now. It doesn't look like he does. This is sort of a replay here of the start.
Yeah, I'm watching Checo here. He
As,
makes really good
yep,
moves.
that was
He
Gasly.
yeah, super late braking there by Checo, and then Gasly just
They end up going 3 wide into that turn
yeah. I
between
don't think you
Checo,
can do
Gasly,
that.
and Alonso. And Alonso just kind of, and here's going to be the onboard, just kind of ends up getting the worst of it here.
I don't really. Was that really Gasly's fault?
I mean, he does hit him.
Yeah, you kind of
he's
know.
he's not happy. Let's see. This is the view from Gasly here.
It-
Well, he does. He ends up hitting him in the side pod. I mean, that's I suppose the best spot that you could.
I
Better than
mean,
hitting him in the rear wheel. Yeah, but there's just
I don't like. What is he supposed to do though? Like he can't turn the.
yeah. I got basically Gasly saying I got sandwiched, and then Alonso. Yeah,
Uh, It,
couldn't be
yeah,
worse.
I don't think that's that. Like I don't really think it was that bad.
What a fantastic start here by Bottas.
Yeah,
We've seen Lewis not have the best of starts, but of the 2 Mercedes drivers, I mean, Bottas has been here tremendous today.
it's actually insane. This is really cool. The start analysis. That's really sweet.
Yep,
The numbers they're able to show us
about
put
a
up there.
tenth of a second faster there on his reaction time. Oh, that was Alonso hitting Schumacher. So
Yeah, so I guess it's everybody hitting each other at this point.
yikes. Okay.
There's the TV spin that probably got
Oh,
us in. Oh,
yep.
he balded those tires there.
Yeah,
That was a nice 360 though, not gonna lie. And Hamilton still battling with Tsunoda here. This is, I mean, some are going to say it's only 4 laps, but I thought he'd probably pass him already.
So the interesting place here is, as you were mentioning earlier, is when do you make the call to switch tires? And the one
Swish,
who
yeah.
to switches first, or who makes the call
I'll
at the
tell you
right
right now, the
time.
track doesn't look like it's
No, the track doesn't
dry.
look right now, but
I
I
think he's
wouldn't
going to go
expect it to
for,
be like a normal pit stop. Like you'd expect a normal, it's a 58 lap race. Like you expect normally it's like 22, 23, 24, something like that, right? But
something's wrong with Verstappen's car. I wasn't able to understand exactly what it was. Yeah, so the stewards are going to look at the Alonso and Gasly incident, but I'll be honest with you. If Gasly turns inwards, he's going to hit the Red Bull,
yeah, yeah, I don't think
right?
there's
So
gonna be, I don't think there's gonna
like
be anything
Alonso
else
can
on
be
that
as
one.
upset as he wants, but I don't really think I don't know. I don't know what you're really supposed to do in that situation. Like just break and get out of this situation. I don't think anybody's going to do that.
On board here with Carlos Sainz managing
They
to
had
move
a,
his way up.
I don't, they may not have it during the race, but they had a really cool new onboard camera look, which is on the wing.
Oh, really?
And
Like the
it
rear
was,
wing or the front
no,
wing?
on the front wing. And it
Oh,
was very
really?
cool. Yeah. It was in qualifying yesterday. It was fantastic. And they may not, they may take it off for the race or something like that, that it's not allowed,
That's
but it was
wild.
really cool. It was a completely different view on it.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'd expect a pit stop maybe around 15 or something like that to see if they swap over. Certainly the first team to do so, everybody's going to be watching. Um,
Yeah, the first team's definitely going to be the team that basically decides it for everybody. But as you can kind of see, there's less and less spray coming up from the first lap behind the cars. So
yeah.
that could be something to keep in consideration. But no driver yet's basically said like I can run this on slick. So I think everybody's still pretty much inters.
I would also suspect that maybe the like the race they get slower. The lap times get worse as the track gets drier, and that's what they're
Yes,
watching, right?
I was very close from Signs and
And
Russell there.
Russell, as Sainz manages to
Hamilton's trying to make
overtake.
the pass on Tsunoda, but he's still behind him.
I gotta say, pretty great driving by Tsunoda to hold off. Ooh,
Yeah,
little wiggle there by Hamilton. Yeah, we saw him having some troubles in turn one yesterday.
I mean, we know this AlphaTauri is really fast. I mean, yeah, AlphaTauri is really fast in this condition. I mean, Gasly's doing fit. He was fantastic in qualifying. So was Sonoda too. So, I mean, this car definitely has pace. I don't think it
Yeah,
has Mercedes pace, but it's got pace.
yeah. Lewis trying to take the inside there, and let's see,
And
under
then now
investigation,
Alonso's under
Alonso.
Alonso's under investigation.
Now, okay, this Schumacher and Alonso one, that might be something. But
I didn't see it. I
yeah,
kind of looked
we got
away
just a
when
very brief replay there. Was Mick hit by Alonso? Yes, Matthew. Yeah, Mick was hit by Alonso. That's why
which
he's
is pretty unfortunate because
very
he had a
unfortunate.
really good qualifying and everything. Especially, I mean, that's the highest I think a Haas ever qualified this season. I don't think they ever
So
got out of Q3. I think that's got to be the first time.
yes, there was one where he was in Q. He got out of
Oh, and
Q1, but he
he couldn't
crashed, so he
actually.
didn't
Yeah, he
actually
cracked.
race it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was earlier
Sainz
this
gonna
year.
make the move on Raikkonen. Oh my. Oh, I don't know where Raikkonen is there. Hamilton
Behind, I
again
think, at
gonna
this
maybe
point.
try to take the move.
Hamilton
Yuki
trying to
goes
go
outside for the
inside.
apex. Yeah, he's not gonna be able to pass him there. That's
Nice
such a.
apex
I
there,
think
actually.
that's such a hard corner to pass on. So we've seen so many people spin out. If I feel like if you try to make a move there and you mess it up, it's massive.
You could
It's a
try,
massive error.
yeah,
Like you pay the
because it's a
price for it
blind
if you
apex,
mess
so you
up.
really have to take that turn really wide. And if you end up going too wide, you're just off.
Yeah,
So
it's just it's over.
yeah, especially in these conditions at the moment.
I mean, he's been on his tail pretty much the whole time, but
Now, AlphaTauri, good friends of Red Bull, right?
yeah, exactly. Yes, they technically are subsidiary teams. I guess you
Yep.
can say that.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Uh,
yeah, definitely,
so
definitely
they're
Horner's
all
down there. Hey, Yuki, if you ever want to race for the Red Bull team, here, do us a favor here.
Yeah, you gotta believe that they're helping. They're doing a solid to their friends up in front right now. Because especially when only 2 points separating the drivers' championship, every bit counts. And right now, Hamilton down in ninth. So Tsunoda doing his best to hold him off. I would also suspect that getting past Perez is going to be difficult. The
Yeah,
Red
I was gonna
Bull,
say
the
getting past
strategy.
Perez is not gonna be fun, and getting past Gasly is not gonna. I mean, look at the people he has to pass. I mean, Stroll. I'm assuming he's gonna pass. Stroll typically doesn't put up much of a fight.
Yeah.
I mean, Norris isn't going to be that much fun to pass. Gasly again, Perez again. The way how Mercedes really has to play this is a game in the pits and see if they can move up on that.
And look, I mean, you even have the Ferrari up in third. And remember, this is Leclerc
Oh, he's not.
using.
He's close. He's the closest he is. He's taking the most speed on the inside corner here. This is probably the chance he's going to make. This
He
is
still
probably his
can't pass
best
him though. Oh, he's gonna
opportunity.
try maybe. Oh, he's gonna try now.
Yeah,
Gonna try go to the outside. Yeah, he's got him.
he
Does
was carrying much
Tsunoda
more speed
fight
the whole
this
time.
to get it back? Can he?
No, I don't think
No.
so.
All right. So Hamilton is in the clear. However, he is losing pace to the leaders. So a 19.2 seconds behind first at the moment. Let's see how that gap plays out. Remember, it's about 20 seconds on the pit stops. And so yeah, you're right. He just carried a ton of speed here. This was a good passing zone.
Yeah, he just carried more speed. He braked late, and that was the move right there. That was a good job.
What I was going to say about Leclerc is remember they took the engine penalty last week
Last week,
to
so they
yeah,
have the new engine this week. It seems
but
to be
they
working
have a
pretty
full
well.
new power unit. So in and the it was more Ferrari was concerned with
Wow,
changing out the battery.
really?
Oh wow, okay. So Gasly is going to get a
Gasly did
five
get a
second.
5-second penalty for that.
Wow. All right.
Okay.
Well, in that case, Alonso's
Well,
probably going to get
Alonso's
himself a
definitely
five
getting a
second
5-second penalty for the
for
other
the other
thing
one.
then.
Mhm,
I
mhm. I don't know. I think it's a little harsh. I don't know if really Gasly had much
yeah,
place to go.
it's
But he is going to have to take
I
that
don't know.
penalty in the pit lane during his first pit change. So
It's so hard in racing to be able to be like, well, you hit him, so now the guy's in 17th, so somehow you have to get a penalty. I don't know. It's very hard to like arbitrarily like make it equal again.
yeah, yeah. Some chat asking what did Gasly do? Gasly was found himself in a bit of a
Was it?
precarious situation in turn one right off the start, and kind of sandwiched between Perez and Alonso, and just clipped Alonso's side
Yeah,
pod there,
in the
set him
way of
off.
in the moment of where he was trying to make the turn, he basically just clips Alonso, but they were trying to go 3 wide also,
Yeah.
and he was in between both cars. It was kind of tough. I don't know. It did seem that blatant, but
No, yeah. I mean,
and
yeah.
as kind of called out earlier, Stroll puts up absolutely no fight to Hamilton. Hamilton goes up right by. So good driving so far by Hamilton. He's already moved up to places, and it's only 10 laps in.
There you go.
And there's
And there's the time penalty for
Alonso's. Yeah,
Alonso too.
there's Alonso's penalty.
So Alonso's day, which started off with a lot of promise here, going the wrong direction, finding himself down in 17th, and now with another 5 second time penalty. And as you mentioned, Hamilton now up to 7th. So he has gained 4 positions and still 17.3 seconds behind Verstappen, which apparently is the only thing that matters because they're not even taking time to the leaders. But lap times continue to be in the 134s, which is essentially where we have seen it. And there it is,
Uh,
Fran. Bottas
yeah, there is no
winning.
dry patches or anything. Remember, if you are watching on Discord and you want to be, or if you are watching, remember to hit the subscribe button. You'll be able to hop into Discord. You can watch the live pictures and the race with us there as well. I also just one thing is kind of interesting from Bottas's perspective. He's leading this race as basically knowing he's the Alpha Tar or he's going to be Alpha Romeo driver. He's going to be switching teams next, right? So it's just kind of funny for him to be in a holding position for Lewis kind of the entire time. I just
Well,
find it interesting.
I don't know. He said that he's going to be racing his own race and not going to be worrying about Lewis.
But
So
yeah, I think he's just doing it. I think he's just. I think I mean, Valtteri's always been pretty quick and he's always been pretty
yeah,
fast. But I feel like ever since he signed that contract, he's kind of just been like, you know what, team's a team, but like I'm just gonna do my best, and like I'm just gonna race my own stuff. And it's been working out for him, I would say, on a personal level.
Now it's Norris versus Hamilton, the two British drivers here, and Norris is going to be a tough one to pass. He really enjoys these
Or not.
conditions, or actually not. Never mind. Okay, I'll eat my words there. Um, Nor
So
two
Yuki
two's got
being the hardest one to pass this whole time.
yeah. Now it's going to be Gasly. Although Norris did say he didn't think the McLarens had the pace that they had in Sochi. So and there you see it. Definitely not able to catch up to, not able to keep up with the Mercedes. So Hamilton through again. But it
Yeah, and
does like
Hamilton
this
here.
part of the pack just seems to be falling behind the leaders
To the
at the moment.
leaders,
Yeah, because
exactly. Yeah.
the gap to the front is the same despite the fact that Lewis is passing all these cars. So he's still 19.2 seconds behind the leader, which is exactly the same position he was in when he was down in ninth. So he's making up positions on the grid, which is points, but not actual like time.
Did they change Verstappen's picture?
Yeah, they did because he's in the
They
white.
totally did,
They
right?
did because
Yeah, I
he's in
was
the
gonna
white
say, I was
suit.
like, he looks way different, or
Yeah,
the
yeah,
picture
yeah.
looks different.
They did change it. I think it was like a thing just for this weekend. They had to change out all the picture models.
Yeah, give a nice update for him.
It looks really good in the white though. I
I have
gotta
to
say,
say
it's
that, yeah,
super
the white
clean.
livery does look pretty good. It is pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty awesome.
It does look really, really cool.
So I guess here, this is kind of the moment where Hamilton's gonna be basically able to push, get on the tail of Gasly, and then at this point, it's kind of like it's a pit battle to see if he can cut down into the time of Verstappen and the Red Bulls up front.
Yeah, I mean, effectively, Hamilton has fifth at the moment because Gasly has a 5 second time penalty and Hamilton is within 5 seconds. So, uh, and actually, Hamilton just put in the fastest lap. This is going to be a 133.4, which is 1 second
And I'm
faster.
assuming Gasly's gonna take it the second he pits, right? So it
Yeah,
won't
he's
touch
going
the
to take
car
the
for
five
5 seconds.
seconds,
So he's
right?
gonna be in front. Yeah,
hmm
exactly. And also, the funny thing is about this track, every single time they've raced here, it's always been raining. So
hmm
yesterday in qualifying, they were setting track records like left and right, but they
Yeah.
weren't even necessarily track records because it was still somewhat wet. So it's just kind of funny. They come here and they can easily smash the records of all the track, and they just always
We don't
happens
really
to
know
rain.
exactly what the like a real fast time on this track is.
Yeah,
My
nobody.
my
Yeah,
guess is
nobody really
probably like
knows.
110, 115, but like yeah, nobody really knows.
I guess the
These
only way to know is actually to do it in the simulator. That would actually tell you. But
Hamilton is second faster on that last lap. We're starting to getting the helicopter shots there, and what the drivers are reporting that the track really isn't drying up. You don't see many lines that are actually dry. There was maybe one around towards the start of the lap, but
ooh, just slipped there.
Sainz has made up some significant time, by the way. He's up to 11th here. He's looking pretty strong, only 30 seconds
Uh,
behind the leader.
what did he just put his hand out the? Wait,
He's feeling the breeze.
yeah, that's so weird. It's just casually driving Formula One car with one hand. Um,
Oh, little wiggle there. And he's gonna hunt down Vettel. He's gonna put himself in the top 10 here
no, I
before
mean,
too long.
yeah, it's pretty clear that the engine, what they've done for the Ferrari is actually pretty good. I mean, look how fast Leclerc is going. I mean, yes, it's a track that sort of adheres itself to the Ferrari build, but at the same time, it's still going pretty quick. So I mean,
He's on the
he
race
totally can
pace.
make his
Like
way up. Yeah.
Leclerc is for sure just he's putting in laps that are very competitive. So yeah, yeah, Bottas just kind of continuing to push
Is
the
it
lead there.
Hamilton? Yeah, everybody's basically saying the same thing, that it's still wet.
Yep. Ooh, that was close to track limits there for Vettel, but he manages to rein it back in.
Has Vettel given the trophy back?
No, I'm pretty sure he hasn't given the trophy back.
I
I
wouldn't.
can't even remember what race was that. That was like
Um,
Hungary, right?
Hungry, yeah, because
Yeah,
it was the one with the
the
rights
rain.
stuff, and
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I guess on another slight topic, but I guess if there are British fans and viewers, probably would Don't mind it. Yesterday was the first time I've actually ever paid for a pay-per-view fight, and it was
Ah,
worth every single penny.
oh really? There you go.
I was
I
just
was in bed quite early.
yeah, I thought boxing always was like fake and stuff, and I watched that yesterday. It was absolutely fantastic. One of the greatest fights I think I've ever seen of two absolute just behemoths going at it. But that being said, none of them would fit in a car, so who cares?
None of them would fit in the car. But Science just taking incredible speed here down into this turn. Look late on the brakes.
I don't
Actually,
think he knew he was
oh,
there.
actually, never mind. There was a bit of a wiggle. Oh my goodness. Actually, there's a side topic I wanted to bring up since
I-
we're talking about Aston Martins is the new Bond film
oh, the
from
new Bond
oh,
film. Yep.
it's very good. But let me tell you, the DBS, the Aston DBS that's in the film. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's
There are
beautiful.
some beautiful cars. Of course there's the original DB5. There's the was the V8 saloon is in there. And there's also a very beautiful sailboat that Bond drives, or sails rather, which is like
Oh, he's
kind
a
of
sailor
odd.
too.
Yeah, he's a sailor. He's a sailor, but
What
it's like the
a man
cars are
of everything,
beautiful and
James
the boats
Bond.
are beautiful, and of course they had some fantastic Bond ladies as they usually do. But yes, that new DBS just looks wow. And they also had the Valhalla, which is like a concept prototype car, I guess,
Hmm.
from Aston. That was in the film. We didn't actually get to like see it drive, but it was sort of in the background. It was looking.
Product
Yeah,
placement.
it was 100% product placement,
Yeah.
just like the Smirnoff vodka and the vodka martinis. But yes, um, but yeah, fantastic looking cars in that film. So I do recommend it. It was very good. Very different Bond film from the others, but very
And
good.
Hamilton just making his way up,
Back to
as
the
we kind of
race.
said. Well, Yuki still is the one that gave him the biggest trouble. So
Yeah,
hats
Gasly
off
kind
to
of just
Yuki.
folds over here.
Yeah, Hagi just got up. Gasly was just like, yeah, go ahead.
But the time isn't
Um,
changing. Again, it's
yeah, the
still
gap to the
18
front is
seconds.
still, yes, exactly. But now I think he can start bringing that down
Mm. So
because he's
Perez is going
actually
to have
got a
to hold
gap to
off.
Perez. Yeah, Perez is what the real fight is going to be.
See,
I
that
mean,
turn looks like it's drying out right
yeah, but
there.
he also, the camera just missed it, but he just spun.
Well, turn one is still an issue. Turn one's going to be an issue.
Well, there's also a part of the track where the degradation is downward, right? It's a negative
It's
slope, so
sloped
it
downward, yeah.
pools somewhere.
Yeah.
I forget. It's in the middle part of the track. I think it's like between 10 and 13. Um,
There is for about 40 meters of elevation throughout the track. So yeah, it isn't flat per se. It's an update
yeah,
for
Ricardo
Ricardo.
is. They're talking about him, but I
Yeah.
think this is one where he just kind of goes out for a nice drive and comes back in.
Yeah.
Like I don't really know.
Well, see if they can make it up in the pits here.
It's kind of crazy to go from that extremely credible performance to that to this.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is that you gotta look at the constructors too, right? Where you have the
The Ferrari.
Ferrari
Oh, you're right.
trailing
Yeah.
McLaren significantly, especially after the result in Monza, and then now they're gonna get it all back. Basically, when they have two cars in the top 10, Norris is only in seventh, and then Ricardo's way out of the points. So, yeah. So that's going to tighten the race for third up considerably here, as Ferrari's making an incredibly good showing so far today, and Leclerc just kind of holding steady. Kind of that's our knock on Ferrari, right?
Yeah.
They just
They
go
just
out
do
there
their
and just
own
like, oh,
thing.
okay, we're
Yeah.
just going to
Yeah.
drive,
We're
but
just gonna drive, and where we finish. But
and
there's always
today,
tomorrow.
yeah, Domani, and then but today for this race, just
Yeah.
driving is going to
Checo's
get him
hold
in
on.
third.
Checo's picture is different now.
Yeah, his facial expression's a little
Yeah. It looks like someone's shining a light into his eyes when they took the picture.
well, it's probably because they were. Let's see, some tire degradation here, complaining.
It definitely looks worse than the inside part of the tire. I'll tell you that much. Also, on another terms of sport, yesterday was crazy in terms of Alabama losing too.
Did Alabama
Remember?
actually lose?
Yeah, they actually lost. Yeah, they did.
Wow,
Iowa
wow.
and then Iowa beat Penn State.
Wow, there you go. I was watching that Alabama and A&M game, but
It's not going to matter though. They'll still get to the playoff.
but it was like late in the fourth, and Alabama
Yeah.
put in the touchdown, and I was like, yeah, they're just gonna win this thing, like whatever. But I guess A&M like hadn't completed a pass the entire second half, and then
And
they
then
ended the
here's going to be the Ferrari on Tsunoda. So let's see if Tsunoda can hold off signs like he did Hamilton.
or the speed of science is just gonna get to him. But right now, Tsunoda's still driving a really strong race, situated down in ninth, which is exactly where he started.
Hamilton radio. He's asking if anybody else is complaining on tires. But then again, do remember that all these
I don't know
drivers
if
know that everybody's listening to the radio communications, so they do try to play games.
I don't know if anybody complains more than Hamilton about his tires.
Yeah, I think he's one of the most vocal about it, and I don't know if it's like on purpose in the sense of like he's just trying to like tell everybody that he thinks his tires are done, or he's actually being serious. I've never really been able to understand. But today we can actually see his tires are balding, so so it's
Verstappen's
partially
putting
true.
in here the fastest lap of the race at a 133.2.
Yeah, so they had a conversation. Basically, the Red Bull engineers, here's that pass going to be sized on Tsunoda here, and
Nice
he's going to
pass.
let him take it, and that was a good job there. And basically, he was saying that the tires, his tires, are holding up better than the Mercedes one, so he can begin to start pushing, and then you
Ah,
start to see those fastest laps be able to come in.
there you go. I gotta say, I'm very impressed with Science today. He's just been
Yeah,
hammer to the
he's
metal.
been doing really well.
He's been doing
That new
really, really
Ferrari
well.
engine it's doing it.
I mean,
Whatever they did.
contrasted to Ricardo, right, who also started the back of the grid, but really hasn't made up any positions. Sainz starting all the way back in 20th has put himself up into ninth, so
Yeah, I
pretty
don't think he
incredible.
necessarily has the pace in his car for some reason. I don't know. It's kind of weird because the car definitely had pace last weekend.
Yeah, Verstappen putting in, starting to knock down the lead a little bit here. He was at 3.5 seconds the previous lap. He's now down to 3, so he's knocked up about a half second there to Bottas, and Max finally starting to get it going here. Now this track does have 2 DRS zones, not that anybody's really using them right now. Or I'm not sure if even DRS is active either way.
Is it active in the rain?
Sometimes they turn it off, but
Sometimes they turn it off. Typically when the track is wet, they don't allow it.
yeah, true. Bottas now
But there are, yeah, but you are
getting the
right, there are
call,
two.
getting the call, and putting in his own fastest lap as Max is hot on the chase here. Now down to 2.7 is the interval.
Yeah,
And
and kind of the
doing
next thing, the
exactly.
next fight to really look at here is basically the Checo Hamilton one and seeing if Verstappen could close in on Bottas.
Yeah, it is. It's
That's
about
kind of the big.
4.6 seconds here, Hamilton to Perez, and Hamilton's still kind of maintaining around 18 seconds to the leaders. So really hasn't made up much time in absolute time, although he's made up the track position quite well. But impressive drive by
Ooh,
Bottas
he
so
did
far
spin
today.
there a little bit. Good save.
Maybe that's probably why the time came down a little bit there.
Yeah, that's exactly why.
Yep.
Yeah, they are getting faster laps, but how much of a result is that them pushing, and how much is a result of that the track is drying?
Yep. And at some point they're gonna have to switch off if it
And
dries too much.
at some point those kind of intersect and cross over.
I mean, look, last race out, we saw we saw the race won and lost by the call to switch onto the inner tires. We might see a call to switch off of inters win a race here. So
And remember, if you want to hop into Discord, just remember to drop a subscribe there on YouTube or a follow, and then you can hop into Discord, watch the live pictures with us, and join the community there as we do this every weekend for pretty much every race.
and actually the next race we get to do is going to be the US race, right? Thank God. A race at a
Yeah,
decent
normal
hour.
time.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's the
Whoo!
sun's not even up basically.
Dude, are you kidding me? It's like not
Yeah,
even
yours
5
is
o'clock.
earlier. Yeah,
It's the
yours
middle
is
of the
even
night.
earlier.
Still. But we'll have a noon. I think it'll be a noon race for me when they race in Austin. This shots down the Red Bull pit wall. Christian Horner looking intently at his. I don't even know what to call it. I lost the word for it there for a second. At his at the data, at his screens. That's it. He's looking intently at his screens. Oh man, what's Norris got for us?
He's basically saying that it's
Interesting.
turning into slicks.
So
So
the degradation on the tire is turning
yeah,
them into slicks.
yeah,
Interesting.
they basically run away all the rubber on them, so they turn into slicks. That's actually pretty funny. But in a sense of how the track is going, I guess it's
No,
kind
I
of
mean
good.
that's super interesting because it's sort of the tire is kind of now matching the
Matching
track
the track.
surface.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
which
It's
means they
basically
don't have to
making
pit.
itself. It's basically making itself like more ready for the track.
Fastest lap continuing to juggle back and forth between Bottas, Verstappen, and Hamilton. And Hamilton's now got it as we're starting to approach the 133s. Remember, we were down in the 123s with the slick tires in qualifying yesterday. So the first person to be able to actually make it around the track in real slick tire in slicks uh, is going to have a massive advantage. That was with the intermediate, so the yellows, the reds and the yellows.
Here's a picture of Lewis Hamilton's balding tires, but as we said, it works in both ways, right? Because the track is drying,
Oh,
so it
I see.
turns
There's
into
that
slicks.
line right
Yeah,
there in the
there's a
middle. There's a
huge
big
line.
line in the middle. Yeah,
That's on his back
back
right
right, back right.
rear. Yeah,
Hmm.
back right. Overtaking difficulty seems to be medium.
Seems to
is
be
what is what
medium.
AWS is doing. Once again, if you wanted to see the live pictures, you can hop on Discord and join our group
Yeah,
watching
join the
there.
watch party there, and then come back for the commentary or share your opinions on who you think is going to be taking this race here. It is going to come into a pit battle here. Oh, interesting little communication there from Ricardo and the
Yeah,
McLaren team.
I mean at that point though, like why not?
Yeah, well, he's basically the question is how much faster does can Ricardo be on a new set of inters? And Ricardo's saying quite a bit, he thinks. So we might see a pit for the McLaren team here quite
I feel like
soon.
that's so early. Like that means he'd have to.
Like I said, we're at like lap 22. Usually you'd
So
have a
like you're
pit stop
past
at
the
like
double
24,
pits.
26.
Yeah.
Like if you were going for a two-stopper, and then here it is. This is Ricardo in for the McLaren, the first team to pit. And they're going to go for a new set of inters.
I mean, I guess he's got a nothing to lose moment, but it's kind of
Yeah,
interesting.
nothing to lose. Let's see. Is it going to be a clean stop?
Not bad. Good.
Decent. 2.8. Yeah, yeah, not bad. Nothing bad there. Let's see if he can actually make
Yeah, it'll
anything
be
here.
fascinating to see how fast he actually goes now.
Let's keep a track of the lap times.
I guess
133 is the lap time to beat.
I guess they also need to do their own science experiment. Considering he's an 18th, he's not going to be able to get up, and they need to see what to do for Lando.
Bingo. That's exactly where I thought you were going with that, and I think that's 100% right.
In doing their own science experiment, they are doing a science experiment for the entire grid as well. Though we have a Tsunoda spin here in sector 2.
Oh, he's been doing so good though.
Yeah, he was doing well. Oh, it's close on the re-entry there. Be interesting to see the spin there, but he seems to have caught it pretty well. So it
He
doesn't look like there's any
does, but he
damage on the
puts
car or
himself
anything.
down 4 positions into 13th behind Giovinazzi. Let's see the replay here. Now I wonder, is it too
Oh, he
wet?
just kind of.
Oh, he gets the rear. I think he loses the rear there. There. We said that the track has been drying, but you said
He
as
kind
you
of hit a.
mentioned,
Is it? Am I crazy or he kind of hit a puddle?
yeah, yeah. I think you were saying that there's definitely some areas where there's still standing water, and I think
I
he might
kind
have
of sort of
just
I sort of want to see that again because I feel like his right rear. They were saying that he just kind of lost the car, but I totally feel like he hit a puddle.
he might have just taken slightly the line that he took was slightly off, and he ends up he ends up a right rear in.
Because it was
It
a
looked like it. It
he
looked
hit
like
like a
it.
splash of water and then the car spun
Yep. Yep.
like immediately afterwards. So it was-
So definitely probably the right call to stay on inters for the time being. I'm trying to look at a Ricardo lap time here. No,
yeah, it's not
152.
that
That's not
it's
right. That
nothing
can't be right.
crazy. Yeah, he's at a 152, so
No, no, no.
I
But
don't think it's
that has to
registered
include the
his it
pit stop.
hasn't registered his non-pit stop, and he's
Yeah.
also kind of got to go for a warm-up lap. Leclerc throwing in the fastest lap.
Ah, fascinating. So the fastest lap now juggling between the Ferrari as well. So there we go.
Once again, for all the new viewers that are coming in, you can hop in Discord and watch the race with us there as well.
And I'm gonna extend this just a little bit so you can see how many pits they have.
So
There you
Ferrari is reporting the results of the science experiment,
Ferrari.
and they're saying that Ricardo's slower on new inters. So
Yeah,
looks
okay.
like it's not
Well,
working out.
that's not gonna work. I still don't see a real lap time for him
I
though.
still haven't seen it. Hasn't popped up here, but
Oh,
now
there,
it should
133.8.
133. So yeah, I mean
So
Leclerc just did a
nothing.
132.
Yeah. Yeah, there's really no reason to pick up a new set of inters. It's the two Haas there
I
being
mean,
pursued
granted,
by
the car
Bottas.
you don't really even have to bring those tires up to temperature as
Look at the
much
line
either.
though.
So
There is a line. There is definitely a line that's developing here. Remember, no
and then
new rain. It's just that there has been rain overnight. The track has been wet. There was nobody racing on us. There's no F2, there's no F3. So that's why we find ourselves in the situation that we're in at the moment. With the cars on inners. Blue flag. Ah, getting lapped.
yeah,
Getting lapped.
it's for the Haas's to get out of the way.
Yep. As Bottas drives right past them here.
I'm
And there's
surprised that the the Haas in front didn't let him go by yet, but
so yeah, that's Schumacher is now a lap down, and Mazepin going to
yeah,
be
both of them are.
next.
Feels bad.
Feels bad, especially because
Feels real
Schumacher
bad.
started up in 14th, and yeah,
Yeah, and then they got clipped by Alonso there,
right.
and then
Alonso
basically
now in
sent him all the
16th.
way to the back after that. Gasly is saying more rain in turn 9. I'd be curious to see if that's where Tsunoda went
Tsunoda,
off
yeah,
because it. I forget. Oh,
beautiful,
yep, I
beautiful.
was right. That is where Yuki Tsunoda did spin. It was turn 9. So definitely the more rain is coming there, which
There you
makes
go.
sense. It totally hit a puddle.
Yeah, yeah, you did. You had that call absolutely correct. And the three leaders are now by the two Haas cars. So we have the three leaders clear, still racing their own race. Verstappen has continued to shrink the gap, but also has Leclerc actually shrinking the gap a
Leclerc's
little
been,
bit
yeah.
on Verstappen. The Ferrari's super competitive. I would say even if Hamilton was able to get past Checo, he would still have a fight with Leclerc.
I feel
Although
like it wouldn't be fun with Leclerc, but he made pretty easy work of Or no, Sainz wasn't there actually,
Sainz
so
wasn't
never
there.
mind.
Although if your theory holds here, then Sainz is going to make pretty easy work of Stroll here in about a
Yeah,
few
my Stroll
laps.
theory. Yeah,
Yeah, your
exactly.
Stroll theory.
Just doesn't really put up much of a fight. I don't know if that's just. I mean, then again, like it's not really their race.
Yeah. Bottas reporting some more rain now too, so we might see that the cars actually stick with this the inners here. Look at Ocon's front left. You can see the tire kind of takes like a
Oh,
step down. Look at that. It's
yeah,
wild.
it actually completely is.
There's
The
definitely a
camber on or the placement of the wheels are that's interesting. It is. It looks like it's lowered, doesn't it?
yeah. Well, I mean, there's definitely a piece of the tire that has been after 26 laps completely degraded.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Hamilton managing to claw back some time though here. He's about 15 seconds now behind Bottas, so he's made up about 3 seconds so far in these conditions as he continues to push. And this is Vettel and Ocon. Ocon trying to get himself into the points.
Yeah, Bottas is still going to have the lead here. He's still got the 2.7 seconds for Verstappen, him to the leader. Then again, this probably isn't the worst result in the world if like all things were to hold for Red Bull, but and Sainz basically saying that they should try the one stop,
Mm.
which is kind of what we were thinking when Ricardo went in, because it was like if you just waited 10 to 15 more laps, you kind of just one stop it and that's it.
Yeah, well, if you double the right, you get 54. So you're basically there in a few more laps. You probably end up going, yeah, unless
You
the
could
track
maybe even go,
dries.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Then that's when you kind of blow it, right? But this idea of the fact that these new inters aren't necessarily faster is sort of like, why do I even pit then?
Yeah, yeah, you just kind of stay out.
Like I just stay out and like run the inters to the ground. It's kind of weird.
I guess, and I do think that the longer you stay out, I don't know if that makes things better or worse for
Because
Hamilton.
Ricardo just put in 134.78. It's kind of what everybody else is doing.
Yeah, he's actually slower. He's actually slower by about a
Yeah,
second.
he's still slower. Yeah, that basically this is what Bottas is saying is that they've all basically ripped the tread off of the
Mm-hmm.
they've ripped all of the tread off the inters, so they're basically running them as slicks. You can slightly see like the lasting of the grooves that are actually in the tread, but it's pretty much running as slicks now. But I don't know if you can just be like, yeah, I'm gonna throw you on mediums.
Yeah, no, I
Like
don't
I
think you
don't
have
think that's
the
also the right move at
I don't
all.
think you have the grip right now.
That would probably be a disaster if you did that.
But if you're Red Bull, I don't know where you're going to find the extra pace here because if you end up
Yeah, it
going
doesn't
through
look
the
like you're getting. It doesn't look like you're getting there.
yeah, as if you're Verstappen, I don't know where to find that pace. Now, 5 of the last 8 races here in Turkey have been won from pole. So it's incredible that position being
It's
incredibly
super
important.
important. Yeah. And if you were new or joining us here on in real life sports, you could hop into the Discord and watch the live pictures and everything. Just subscribe and you're good to go. Join us for all the races.
Yep, and then Hamilton just actually losing time here in the last 2 laps, losing about 1.1 seconds to Verstappen. Yeah, I don't know. Although if you're Red Bull, you probably say this is a decent result.
Right? It's
Certainly for
not
the
the
title
worst thing
fight.
in the world.
Certainly for the
Yeah.
title. Like the constructors, I think you lose out a little bit here, but for Verstappen's and the championship points, then I you probably just end up taking this and going home and saying, great, we're doing good.
Bet. Whoa. Yeah, I was gonna say Mazepin definitely held up the Mercedes, and
Mm.
also Vettel saying that he does think the track will dry to be able to use slicks. So
Yeah, well, that's the interesting part,
yeah,
right? If you two stop it, you're gonna two stop essentially onto another pair of inters would be my guess. I don't think
you'd have to
unless
make
what
up
you're
the
gonna go
pit
40
time.
laps and then try to like
You'd have to make up the pit time on the second time you swap over to slicks,
yeah. Although it is about 10 seconds.
which is yeah, it is actually it is a
It
lot.
is. So in theory, you could probably make it like if you were putting in similar times of qualifying. Now it's not exactly like a qualifying time, right? But let's say it's even 5, right? So you make up a pit stop time inter to non-inter in about 4 or 5 laps, but you got to give yourself the time to do that. You have to have 4 or 5 laps to do that, right?
Yeah, you have to have the actual laps left to be able to do it.
All right,
Yes,
exactly.
correct.
But definitely if you could put in something like and I guess suppose towards the end of the race you also are much faster because there's the fuel isn't in the car, right? Just it looks a lot more like my qualifying, so you could put in some very fast lap
Oh
times
my
down in the
god.
120s. Ooh, yeah, that was
Yeah,
close.
Mazepin totally should not have gone in on that. That was really bad. He's totally going to get a talking to or at least a visit from the stewards on that. I don't think he can actually get penalized per se for. I mean, what are you going to penalize? He's already at the back.
Yeah, he's already at the
I
back.
mean,
It doesn't
that's at
matter.
that point. That's just I hate to be that guy, but can't really get much worse.
Leclerc still holding on to the fastest lap in his third place position with very competitive lap times here. He's actually 2/hundredths rather, faster than
Bottas
two
is still saying that
thousandths faster than
there's still rain on certain turns as well. So he still hasn't. So he's not fully convinced to go to slicks. Vettel thinks it eventually will turn into that. Both of them have pretty much the same amount of driving experience. Vettel probably has a little more. He's a little older.
Yeah, so I'm not really sure when we're not really sure when these pit stops are going to come. The
Yeah,
only
because if
person
I
to
mean,
pit is Ricardo, and it just didn't work out. So
yeah, it totally backfired.
yeah, it really yeah they're no faster than they were before. So
Oh, that Alpine
close.
just wiggled like crazy at the end. Yeah. Oh, you almost hit him too there. Oh, when he came back on him, like, oh yeah, that was close. That was really close.
Some pretty good racing there between the two, though.
Yeah,
As
that was close. They both kind of messed up at the same time, and they both of their lines were messed up, and they had to get back on the racing line and to be able to at least make a turn. They almost hit each other doing that.
So if Verstappen was pushing before, he's not anymore because now
Yeah,
he's
he's
down
not.
4 seconds behind Bottas. Was about 2.5, about 5 or 6 laps ago.
The Checo Hamilton is really close. I'm not
It
sure
is.
why we're not seeing pictures of that
It's
per
within a
se.
second right
It's
now.
within, yeah. There's no DRS, remember again, because of the rain,
Hmm.
but he is within 1 second.
Oh look, he's got a camera on the. He's got a camera on his rear wing there. I think. It does Perez.
And
Yeah,
if you
now they're
want to be able
talking
to,
about it.
yeah, if you want to see live pictures and be able to hop into the chat and you're enjoying it, just you can hit subscribe and then click the link that we put in chat for our Discord, and you'll be able to go there, be able to watch and join us there as well. Yeah, they're starting to see here. You can see in turn 8 that you're starting to see the actual dry line, but I still think it's super risky because there's other parts of this track that don't dry. And we've seen
Yep.
that in qualifying. And here is actually going to be Alonso going into the pits. I think it said, yep, he is going to the pit. Uh, what's, oh, 5 second penalty. My
Yeah,
bad.
yeah.
Yeah. That's for him hitting Mick Schumacher.
Yep. That's for him
Thank you.
hitting.
Thank you, Michael McAra. Appreciate it. And
That
thanks
is
for
for him.
joining us from Toronto.
That is for him. For the Schumacher hit. Gasly is the other one with a 5 second time penalty
Yeah.
that has yet to pit. So we
So
are not
this is
sure.
what I was thinking. What if he just never pits? What if these cars just never
No,
pit?
no, no. Well, then you tack it on to the
Yeah, you
time
get
at
it
the
on at
end.
the end. Yeah, I know, but he
Yeah.
still technically stays ahead of Hamilton. Or no, at this point, he doesn't for Gasly, but he still like stays ahead. But it's starting to get to the point of, I think. Okay, so I think if we put ourselves in the position of the pit and the strategist at this point, you're basically sitting there saying like, if the track, okay, the rears are starting to get a little snappy, says Botas, and they say get more temperature in them. Which I don't know how he's supposed to get more temperature when he's driving as fast as he can.
There isn't any
But
more temperature
that
to
being
get.
said, I think the strategists are kind of in that position to where I can switch. If I switch them on intermediates, not much really happens. But if they actually, if it dries up enough and I use that 15 seconds of the pit to get them on the slicks for at least the last 3 laps, I
It's
can
the
make
only
up
hope.
10 seconds. I think is the only chance that you actually have. That being said, that call to put them on the slicks is also terrifying.
Yeah, because basically what we
Because you can
saw.
see, like, look at the track from these aerial views. You can see the racing line, but then you see the car hit a puddle, or you'll see the car hit spray, and you're just like on slicks, like you'd lose it.
You would. And so I think the key was what the teams were watching with Ricardo, thinking that he was going to be faster on a new set of inters, and that did not turn out to be the case. So the problem, as you point out, is that if all you do is go in and pit for a new set of intermediate tires, you give yourself you come back onto the track like with no advantage of like looking to move up in track position. And if you're Verstappen, you're now looking at like having to make up 5 seconds, which you're continuing to lose time. So really the only hope there is that you do get the swap right, and you can get ahead of Mercedes because you end up, I don't know, swapping a lap sooner, for example, right? Um, and you end up making that time. Because otherwise
Yeah,
you're just
it's just
playing follow. We're
super
just like playing
weird.
follow the leader right now,
Yeah.
which is exactly what we're gonna do for the rest of the race. If all you do is go in and pit for a new set of intermediates, because it really just doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter
But
on the lap times.
okay, so I guess the next science experiment was Alonso. Has he put in actually
Uh,
his full lap times? He put in 135, but the tires are still warm. So let's see what he does on the next 2 laps. But somebody also did just say on the radio, I forgot who it was, but they just said it was raining more.
yeah, science was
So
saying
that
that it was
science
raining
is saying
more.
it's raining more. So that's like, are we gonna see like the first race ever where nobody
Where
pits?
nobody
That's got to be a
actually pits.
record.
That would be well. I was gonna say
I
like
was gonna say, has that ever happened before?
no. I mean,
I've
but
never
like
not. I've never
30.
watched the race and not seen cars pit.
I can't remember us going 30 like this race distance, 34 laps. So it's 360, right? So 360 divided by 58.
Oh, the mileage is what you're trying to
Yeah, yeah,
figure
yeah.
out.
Well,
Yeah,
actually, I have it here. It's like it's 5.88 per five. Yeah, it's 5.3 kilometers
the
per.
Ricardo
So
move here on Latifi.
5.4 kilometers per lap, and we've gone what 33, 34, 34. We've gone 100, 180, 184 kilometers. So that's quite significant. I can't remember a race with this kind of lap, with this number of laps where we've gone
I
this
mean, they've
deep
just
into
never
the
gone more
race.
than 30
Yeah,
plus laps without switching tires typically on a race. The other one
at
was
least this
last week in
year.
Sochi where the McLarens didn't switch tires until like around this time.
Well, but then they had a bunch of crazy stuff happen at the end of the race that kind of like
No,
threw
no, no. Yeah,
things
yeah, yeah,
for
of
a
course.
loop,
I'm
right?
just saying
So
if that's crazy stuff didn't happen, I think Perez is gonna not put much of a fight here. Or
or is he? He has the inside though. Uh, wiggle. Oh, they're gonna hit. Oh my God, they're gonna
yeah, is
hit.
Checo gonna take
Oh
one for the
no, he
team
got
here or
pushed
what?
out. He got pushed out.
Yeah, but he's gonna have to be able to come in. He's still got the outside advantage on side of this. He's still got the more pace.
And hold on, do they
I
have
don't
to
think
come in?
Checo's gonna. I don't think Checo's
Can they
gonna let
actually
this
get
stuff
the
go
apex
easy.
here? No,
Oh,
Checo's
Checo
gonna get it.
almost loses it, but he stays in front. Okay, this is gonna be. Oh man,
Yeah, remember when you go into turn one, you got to make a left, so you need that inside, and that's exactly what he
Horner's on the
had.
phone. Protect my son. Protect my son. Don't let him pass you.
This is great. That was wild here. That was really good between those two. Norris is into the pits actually. Meanwhile, while this is happening,
Yeah, other people are going to the pits. Yeah, I feel like he got pushed off the track, kind of a little bit.
yeah,
But I mean, what are we gonna say? Verstappen's done it to Hamilton. Hamilton's done it to Verstappen. It's whatever. It's racing at this point.
yeah.
We
The
can't do this. He did this. She did this. What they did this type deal. It's too much.
well, the
It's
crazy
racing.
one was he got pushed off into the pit lane entrance,
Into
and at
the
some
pit
point you
lane,
have to like commit,
which is
right?
technically so I was actually that's what I was thinking. That is the pit lane entrance. So technically, if you cross that line, there are rules to where you can't like go back out or like
Right.
redecide. But I don't think you can like push someone into that to get them a penalty, right? But that's kind of sort of what happened.
That is kind of what happened. That was just really odd. We'll see if Hamilton's going to have to take a lap to recharge the battery here, I think, and go at him again.
Oh, he got a better release there on the Or no, he didn't. Checo kind of took a different line there. Or Checo's taking the middle line so he can defend inside, outside, and then grab the apex here too. Let's
Yep.
see if both of the. Oh, Hamilton locked a little bit there, and he's gonna have lost time. There it goes. He's gonna need another lap to get that one back. One of the most important parts of this Istanbul track is actually the fact of carrying the speed. If you have more speed coming in on the first corner, you carry more for the entire lap, basically. And this is, I guess, the replay of.
Yeah. The actual race is in our
They're so
Discord, so
close.
that link should be. Yeah, I thought those were. Yeah, so he's on the other
Yeah,
side
so
of the
he's
white.
actually on the other. I was gonna say that he's actually on the other side, and he goes around the cone.
Yes,
100%.
this is the
Yeah,
crazy
like that.
part.
That totally, like by rule, he
You are
totally,
committed to going
he's
into the
totally
pits.
into the technically in the pit lane.
That's the wild part of that. But like,
But I don't think we've ever seen a Verstappen is boxing.
interesting. Frank, you drop the Discord link there in chat. That's
Oh
where you can
yes.
see the actual race, and you can join the watch party there. Verstappen has been called in, and
Remember, you hit subscribe on YouTube, and then you can click the link there in Discord, and then you can go watch here Verstappen. Let's see how the pit crew does here for Verstappen. In the past, it has not gone well in these races. That is a fantastic pit stop.
they usually do really fast pits,
That
and it
I
was
think
so
was an under
fast they
two.
didn't even
Yeah,
give us the
close to under
time.
two.
2.1, fantastic pit stop by Red Bull here.
So
Basically,
question, I
yep,
think they did that because and it worked. That's
he's
exactly
gonna
what I
come
was gonna
out
say.
right in
Because
front of
on
Perez.
that, Checo held off Hamilton enough to where now Max gets the new tires. He can run on the new tires. Hamilton basically has to make the decision: do I do new tires or not? And that's going to drop me back to 15 seconds, and that's going to be the gap that they necessarily need.
There you go, brilliant. Great strategy here by Red Bull. Yep, it was to get the re-entry right in front of Perez, and that's exactly what they do. This is Sainz coming into the pit lane here. Remember, he started down in
Uh,
20th, and
what the
they're stuck. They may have had an
what?
issue there with the release. Remember those changes, like that the releases are now manual or something? They had another hang up here.
Yeah, that was. You could even see signs in the car like what,
Saying
like
like,
let's
let's
go.
go, right? Like,
Like, what
yeah,
are we
what's going
doing?
on?
Like the tires are on the car.
Yep. Now, I don't think Checo comes in until
Until Hamilton. No,
Hamilton does.
Checo covers Hamilton the whole time.
Yep. Bottas has now pitted. This is
So
the
they
pit
went
stop to
on
see.
mediums. Look at that. Did you see that? The Aston went on to mediums.
Interesting. Bottas with a 2.5, so 4/10.
Wow. So Vettel basically saying the track will dry out. He decides to go into mediums. Bottas is coming into the pit. This is probably one of the most important pits, and we're gonna have a sector 1 yellow flag. Someone spun off. It looks like it was not Perez. Perez is going to be coming into the
Who?
pit as well. So they're actually going to give up that position there to Hamilton. Let's see how fast the pit stop there is for Checo. It's a really fast pit stop.
Nicely done by
Fourth
Red Bull.
tenths worse than Verstappen's, but you'll still take it if it's sub 3.
Yeah, that yellow was turned into a green very quickly.
Very quickly. Yeah, I don't know who spun what happened.
Uh,
And yeah, Vettel's call to go onto slicks was not the right call.
oh yeah, he's off there. Yeah, it's not working.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's unfortunate there for
that's
Vettel.
unfortunate. They took a flyer and it just didn't work.
I've be honest, so I feel like it wasn't that hard to not do that, but I don't want to be mean. I like the track still looks wet. I just thought, oh, I was gonna say my camera cut out, but I
No,
think
no, his
that was
froze.
Sebastian Vettel's thing froze.
Yeah, and
Yeah, he can't drive.
yeah,
This is what I'm saying. Like,
no, this is
there's
actually
still
dangerous.
there's still water on the track in certain areas.
Oh my, yeah. Yeah, there's just
Yeah,
no grip.
it's
No grip.
just
Oh, the map froze. Let's fix that. There you go. There you go. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, chat. There's the map again.
Yeah, and
There it
he's
is.
straight back into the pit.
Yeah, Vettel is straight back into the pit.
Oh, the map is now unfrozen and it is working again.
Yeah, the map is working, and I apologize. Sometimes I get sent off there. All right, they're back onto Inders, and they lost about a minute there. So, but they're back in the rear anyway. Yeah, so this is what the Sky folks were saying, that they also thought it was a mistake to bring Checo in, because now Hamilton is it's just Hamilton against Verstappen, and so
Yeah, I didn't understand that, to
but
be honest
like
with you.
I don't know. Then the other question they ask is, well, is Hamilton really going to do another 20 laps like on the and not stop the race, not stop at all? Like I don't know. Oh, he can't. Look, Vettel can't even make the
He
pit
can't
lane.
even go into the pit lane. My God.
Well, that was for science for the entire race.
Yeah,
For
that
the
was for
entire
science for everybody. And we've had 2 science experiments for the entire track here. But McLaren's done us a favor with the Ricardo, and
now Aston did us a favor
but
with Vettel
are
here.
Verstappen's times really that much faster? They're not.
They're 135 right now, and they so remember the times. The fastest lap is down at 133, which is owned by Leclerc at the moment.
Hamilton's doing the same time.
Yeah, Hamilton is doing the same time. Yep. So I don't know. This is Gasly coming into the pit lane
Yeah,
now.
Gasly's coming here. This is the 5-second penalty. Sorry, I forgot to say it.
Yep.
I was like, wait, what's going on? That was actually a pretty quick stop. Well, minus 5 seconds. That's actually not a very good
4.2.
stop.
No,
I take that back.
Yeah.
It looked fast once they put the tires on, but it wasn't
But he
actually that fast
still
in
finds
general.
himself in sixth, so it's not
In the
horrible.
same spot, yeah, exactly. Here, they're gonna show us exactly what happens here if you want to see the Gasly penalty, which we both kind of don't think is really that bad.
Yeah, I don't really think
I
it's
don't.
that horrible. They try to go 3 wide into turn 1, and then it just ends up.
I don't really know what you do.
Yeah.
Like, he physically can't turn the car. If he does, he hits Checo.
Perez, yeah. He's just find himself in a bad spot. So
Yeah.
I mean,
I guess it's like, well, you put yourself there, so you deal with it.
So the interval between Hamilton and Verstappen is only 3.5 seconds.
I'm still confused why they decided to pit.
Well, Hamilton's latest lap time is actually half a second slower. So at some point, you'd say that.
Yeah, that's exactly the words. You can stay on to this set.
So Leclerc thinks he can go
Leclerc's going to just stay the whole
distance.
way. He's got 6 seconds to Bottas, and their times are the same. I mean, Bottas is pretty much putting in very similar times as him. It's not crazy.
I don't know. I would think that at some point, the new set of tires, towards the end, right? If you get 15 laps on these tires, that there would be an advantage. But I guess we'll see. I guess this is the gamble that the teams are taking at the moment.
Yeah, and this is kind of nuts. This is everybody. This is for science here.
Yeah, can you really go all the way on the one set of intermediates? That would be wild.
Let me tell you, the people in Pirelli are like, yeah, this is not designed for this. It's like got the warning disclaimer on it. It's like after 30 laps, this is no longer our responsibility.
Let's see. I'm checking.
Okay, so Mercedes is beginning to get some tires ready. I can't tell what they are. I think I saw green. I think they are inters. I don't think you can do anything else.
Verstappen 0.2 better on that last lap.
Are they dropping pace wise?
They are.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, I think Ferrari takes the flyer at this point. This is like if they pit, they can't win.
1,000%.
Right?
If you were Ferrari, you just send it.
You kind of just go.
I think so. I think.
All right, Lewis has been called in.
And he's saying why? And Lewis says no. So let's see if he listens or not.
Lewis says no,
it's
and
kind of up
Mercedes
to the driver if he decides to go into the it or not.
Yeah, Lewis just doesn't have to go into the pit lane, I guess.
But that's also, but he's saying the same thing we are though, right?
Yeah, there's a little bit of a
He's like,
wiggle there, though. And he's just lost more time. Remember, he was 3.5 seconds behind
it may
Verstappen.
feel that, I mean, there
Now
also
it's
is a difference,
4.3.
right? It may feel fine, but it may not actually be fine. It's kind of the, that's a massive N on the, I guess it's normal mode. I guess there's no neutral. But I feel
Oh,
like that's a, I was
there
looking at
is
the
a neutral,
steering
though.
wheel. I feel like you don't need the button to be that big. I feel like you're never in neutral. Or there it is too on the Mercedes. I've never looked at. I think this is would here's Hamilton. He's basically told the team
2 more laps.
to look
Interesting.
at the computer and think about it again, but I still think he's,
I don't
what
know.
is that
The way
one?
that that car is
He's
moving,
135, 134. He's still kind of on pace with Verstappen.
he's still 2 tenths behind.
It's not terrible though. But we also were kind of proved that like he's not gonna make up that time on the Inter on the new one.
Right.
Because look
Yeah.
at Verstappen. Like Verstappen's time sort of just kind of stayed the same-ish.
Well, if he drops now, if he pits now, he's gonna find himself behind Perez.
That was the problem where the Mercedes pit wall is sitting there, and
24.
that's the thing that Lewis
The
can't see.
problem is,
Is that
yeah, he's gonna.
is that on the last lap he had enough time to probably pit, maybe get in front of Perez or make it close. Now he doesn't.
No, he's basically gonna come out. He might even
Behind,
miss
he may come out
Gasly.
behind Gasly.
Yeah,
Actually, now
he
that I
might
think
actually
about it.
miss Gasly too. At this point,
Oh no, no,
it's
because
close.
that's
It's
added.
25 seconds.
This is interval timing. Yeah, he's.
No, it is. I'm just you just add the two
Oh, you're
intervals and
right.
you
It's
say
25
it's
seconds. Yeah, you're
25.
right. He
It's
actually may end up
He'd
behind them
basically
both.
come out side by side going into turn 1 with Gasly, which would be.
Hamilton here again.
Mm.
I mean, yes and no. So I agree with the idea that like he could be in the position to basically then, I don't know why it just went black. That was kind of funny. I don't. Verstappen could still pit too and match him, right? Stay in front.
Yes.
So
Right. Right. You don't want to pit and come out behind
yeah,
Perez.
you can't
You
pit
don't
and
want to
end
come
up
out
coming out
behind
behind
Gasly
Checo.
either.
That's the worst possible thing. Yeah. Uh oh. Basically, Max complaining that his steering wheel is going left,
His steering wheel is going left.
which is probably which we're not in a NASCAR circuit, so
Yeah.
that you don't that doesn't help. And there's Charles there. Maybe that is the struggling with the tires. I mean, there's
Yeah.
nothing
As
on
soon
the
as the
tire. There's
problem is,
nothing on the tire.
As soon as Leclerc loses first position, then he has to pit. I think. Oh wow, look at that.
That's a. It looks like somebody just took a scoop out of the tire.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Bottas is probably going to overtake here.
But then then Leclerc here kind of proves the Mercedes pit wall right.
Uh,
Well, that was not the. This is the new
that
view that I
wasn't the
think is really cool.
question.
Yeah, that was a terrible. That was a terrible response, by the way. Like really bad response. You could have just been like, "Yeah, you'll end up second or third, and Bottas will pass you." But the obvious keep Bottas
What
behind
kind of
you, we
answer
win.
from the Ferrari pit wall was that? Oh, we stay on this pace, where do we end up first? Oh, duh! Like, but that's not the point. You
I
can't.
don't think that's what
Oh
Charles
my
was looking for.
god. Oh man, try it in Italian next time.
That was great. That was great though. That was some great. I mean, I guess that's one way to motivate him. So I don't want to knock him too bad. And it's actually great. So it's funny. They had the same camera angle here on those same turns. And at P1 in qualifying, they were actually entering that around 200 miles an hour. Here at the race, they're entering it around 190,
Yeah.
192.
It's not bad though.
No, it's not at all. Now Sainz just has to hold them off.
You mean Leclerc has to hold him off? I don't think he can.
I don't think he can, but what he can do is
Bottas is
slow
gonna
him
gobble
down.
him up here.
He may be able to slow him down enough for Verstappen to get close. I don't know. I think Verstappen's times are still around 134. Yeah, the steering wheel problem doesn't seem to be making it that bad, but he's not going faster.
No, actually, Hamilton just made up 8 tenths on that last lap. Wow, actually. "12 laps to go." Leclerc definitely
Yeah, this
can't
is the
hold him.
weirdest thing ever. 12 laps to go and half of the field hasn't pitted. One person's pitted twice.
Yeah, one person tried to go on slicks and then decided that was a bad decision.
Sainz and Ocon on the small camera angle right there, basically going wheel to wheel. Sainz is going to late break here. Yeah, he does, and he does get the car turned around. He is going to make the pass. Nice pass there.
Yep.
Nice job.
Huh.
I don't really understand what he was asking.
Bottas is making a charge here on the inside for the
Yeah,
overtake into
Bottas is
turn
going to
one, and he
easily
is.
get it here. Yeah. And you can still see they're running into
Verstappen is
wet
actually
patches.
no, that's not Verstappen
That's
behind
not
him.
Verstappen.
No, they are still running into wet patches. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, this is crazy, folks. This is probably one of the
Interesting.
crazier like strategy and
Yeah, Hamilton is basically asking if the tires are going to last till the end. I think he wants to just go send it here and not take another pit stop. But yeah, you see,
yeah, he
it's
doesn't.
definitely wet there going into turn one.
Now Verstappen's probably going to get in front of Leclerc because
I
Leclerc
think
at this
so.
point I think has to pit because Leclerc's in the same situation as Hamilton where it's like, do I just try to go as much as I can and just kind of hold? Like I'll just lose the 25 seconds one way or another just based off the tires and then
Yeah.
lose the 25 seconds during the pit. And Ferrari's going to come in and then push hard for the last lap. Okay. So they're taking that view.
Yeah, but now you only have 11 laps. Like, I don't
The
know.
push,
It's
and you're
like
not going that much faster
you're not going
anyways.
that much fast. I mean, you're going to come out behind Hamilton.
Yeah, which you probably would have ended up coming. He probably would have passed you anyways.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, they did take a bit of a gamble there, and it just didn't quite pan out for them. So
He'll end up in front of Checo though.
yep.
I
mean,
still think Red Bull made the mistake of pitting Checo.
probably.
Because if you think about it, if he never pitted, he'd still be sitting in front of Lewis.
Yeah, and he does have
That's 2 or 3
Perez
points.
does have the pace here at 133. Wow, 133.7 is what Checo just put in, which is
Oh my God,
incredibly
Gasly
fast.
put in a 133.8.
Well, there you go.
What
Sainz a
happened?
132 point and a half actually.
It may be drying
Maybe drying there a little bit, but
on
definitely not into
certain
turn
spots
one.
around the track. Yeah, there's still that you can start seeing this racing line, but on other parts of the track, you'll end up into the wall.
Actually, Hamilton has just lost. He just keeps losing time
Yeah,
to Verstappen.
he's battling he's fighting a losing battle.
Yeah, he is. Aston Edwards, thank you very much for the sub on YouTube. Much
Thank
appreciated,
you.
everybody. Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
And thanks, everybody, for joining us here on this beautiful Sunday morning as we bring you the race from Istanbul. Make sure that you jump into Discord and you can join the watch party there with all the other YouTube subscribers. We have just a bit of a another wild race here as we had, a wild one in a
A
wild
different
ending in
type of
Sochi.
wild.
Yeah, but as we have teams here on a no pit strategy. Usually it's a one stop or a two stop, and nobody ever talks about a no stop. And so that's where we find ourselves. That's where Hamilton finds himself right now, trying to hunt down Verstappen. What's interesting though is perhaps Leclerc at 11.4 seconds could make up ground and challenge Hamilton because Hamilton continues to lose
I'm
time to Verstappen.
I'm thinking that Leclerc and Perez need to pass Hamilton here. Like I think that's both of their goals, obviously, but I think it may be possible. I'm not exactly sure. But oh yes, thank you again. Oh yeah, Aston Edwards, thank you for the sub. Yeah, we always call out all the people that do subscribe. If you don't have that setting turned on though, then we can't see and we can't call you out. But thank you for all those who have subscribed. I've seen that it's gone up, so I appreciate all those. Remember, if you want to drop in and hang out with us, you can. I'll put the link in Discord, and you can watch the race there. And if you want to know when we go live, other times, and be notified to be able to watch with us, you can hit the subscribe button and we will all be there. Thank you for being part of this community and waking up with us. Or depends where you are in the world. You could be waking up with us, you could be probably going to bed, or you could be having your afternoon tea.
There you go. Yeah, Leclerc about 1.3 seconds faster on that last lap than Hamilton,
Hamilton
as
Radio
you see.
says he's sliding around, but he's okay. I don't know how those two things go together.
You really can't pit right now. If you
Yeah, he
did, you'd
can't.
find
That's the
yourself
thing.
down
He
in
can't.
seventh. You'd find yourself
He,
behind.
yeah,
You'd be
they've
behind Gasly.
crossed the
You have to go.
break-even point.
Yeah. Yep. You would not.
You
Yeah.
can't.
You can't.
Can't.
You can't. You just
You
gotta go.
you just have to basically go as much as you can and hope that the other cars behind you can't pass. Basically,
Yep.
it's kind of the kind of move, which could prove to be the right thing, right? That could be right.
Yeah.
Could
Well, the
work
problem
out.
is the worst that if you stay out, the worst that happens is Leclerc passes you. You finish in fourth. If you pit, you don't finish any higher than seventh.
If you had pitted,
If you had pitted, you probably stuck behind Perez or something like that. Well, actually, interesting now they bring the Ricardo radio. He's
yeah, I was
in
gonna say I
11th,
didn't even
actually.
notice, and he's in
I did not
11th.
notice. He's one place out of the points
It's
actually
actually
at the moment.
moved up really well.
Yeah.
I guess the move to Inter's. All right, a Mercedes is coming in.
Wow. All right. Hamilton is coming in. Yep. Okay. Last chance before they lose the gap to Gasly because he's just
Wow,
going
it's
so much slower.
insane. Did you see
There's
the tires when
nothing
they took
left
them
on
off?
that
There's
tire.
literally nothing left. That's crazy. I hope they can get a still or like a camera. That's insane.
Oh
Those
my gosh,
shots are
that's incredible.
crazy.
Look at that. Look at that.
That is insane.
The
You can
middle of
literally
the
see that
tires.
they've like ripped off it like more than a few inches on the tire. That's crazy.
That's amazing. I actually think that's really cool.
Yeah, I would love to see like stills of all of the like a before and after of it. It would be so cool. But yeah, Hamilton now finds himself behind Perez. This was the gap that we were basically saying he had to find himself here, or else he was going to lose more.
Well, I thought he was going to come out behind Gasly, but no. So
No, they nailed the pit stop.
They got it right. So
they got a sub, basically a 2.4, 2.3 was perfect.
Yep. All right. So then, but he is going to lose points in the whole like championship battle here because
yeah,
he was
2
in
for
third.
Verstappen.
He's going to go. He's going to go down to fifth.
And basically, we're going to see here. This is Checo for the. kind of for the constructors points here for Red Bull. This is big here. If he can just get it, if Red Bull can get a 2-3 here, they
2-3.
could be pretty, I'd say they pretty happy with that. And I don't think Leclerc is going to, oh, maybe he is going to put up a fight. Perez is going to late break there. He's going to go for it. I think, no, he's going to take the inside now. He's got, yeah, he should be okay.
They got it. They got it.
Yeah, he got it.
Wow. All right, great pass there by Perez. They had to basically take it between two. He had to do it twice. Take it corner to corner here. That pushes Leclerc off the podium at the moment.
Okay. He's not happy.
Well, he said we were going to lose position anyway, so.
Yeah, but that we were talking about that though. That was basically what we were saying the whole time was that at a certain point he was going so slow and he was starting to spin out that he was just going to lose the spots anyways.
You lose it anyway. I think he's gonna end up basically in the same spot that he would have.
I think he sounds really upset now, but I think once they like have the meeting and they review the race, he'll probably understand. Because in his position, if I was in his position, I also would be pretty upset. But you just don't see that as a driver. Like you don't have that overarching view.
Actually has an opportunity to move up into fourth.
Yeah, he may be able to actually pass Leclerc here.
Well, Bottas might take this wire to wire here. Well, actually, Leclerc was leading for a little bit of that race. So
Leclerc was, yeah, but that was because he didn't want to switch tires.
Yeah.
Leclerc says he has no rear grip. Interesting. I'm assuming the tire is.
Gotta heat
but
up
the intros typically don't warm up that. Yeah. Hamilton kind of lost some space there to the Ferrari. Oh, that's what it is. That's what it is. My bad. This is the issue. Yeah. So the problem is basically when they actually are getting the tires, they have them in the blanket, so the tires are extremely warm and they're actually sticky. Once they start getting onto the track, they actually cool off because the track is so cold. Which is why Leclerc and the people after like 4 or 5 laps, they're like, I have no grip in the tire because they literally got so cold. They have the grip in the tire at the beginning, which is what Hamilton was basically using his advantage. That's why he was able to cut down so much time because he's like, he has full grip on the tire. And then slowly now, I think this is on like lap 2 or 3 where he's losing the temperature. So he's going to lose the grip.
Gotcha. There you go. Yeah, because he's definitely lost time there.
They're sitting in the heaters, so they're as sticky as possible.
I see. You gotta warm those guys up. Stick them in the microwave.
Yeah, literally though. That's basically what they do. If you want to watch the last pictures here, or the last few pictures. Okay, he's really upset. This is kind of. I would. Okay. If you want to watch in Discord and hear Lewis giving it to his team, you can click the link there in Discord, hit the subscribe button there on YouTube and join us there. See, this is the thing. Like, yes, he's saying that he was ahead of Perez, but I think he would have been caught.
Maybe. I don't.
But I guess you never know. Like, how are you ever supposed to really know? How is?
Yeah, I mean, I think right now, if you're Red Bull, you just kind of bring this thing home in a 2-3 with a double podium.
I also, if you're Mercedes too, I feel like that's a position where you're just doing damage control. Like, if I pit him, I know 1000% I will not get worse than 6th or 5th.
Right. That's essentially where they were because they had the.
And if I don't pit him, there is a greater chance that these tires just absolutely lose it. He spins out and we end up with no points, right?
Yeah,
so I think they went with the secure
100%
option.
More rain.
Is I guess what you could say as a not an excuse, but a rationale to their decision to pit him.
Is Gasly gonna catch him?
That's what I was gonna say too. Gasly's pretty freaking close.
Gasly's
If I
within a
was on the
second
radio with
here.
him, I'd tell Gasly, go.
Push.
Yeah, go all in. You got nothing to lose here, kid.
Wow, that would be wild. He's within a second of Hamilton here and driving very, very quickly.
Okay. It's like kind of
Wow.
cringe to listen to, not gonna lie. It's like pretty aggressive.
Yeah, but Bottas
Yeah,
isn't going to get caught at this point.
this is actually the funny part. It's like Bottas's engineer is like through the roof and like extremely happy, and then the other side is just like extremely upset and like everybody's angry.
Everybody's angry.
I mean, put it from this perspective, right? He gets a new internal combustion engine and finishes fifth.
Yeah,
Like, then
well,
again, like Max was in 20th and finished second, right? So I
he
mean,
made up
he
six
made up
positions.
6 spots. It's not like the worst thing in the world, but it's not great.
McLaren looking at a 7-11 finish at the moment. Ferrari 4 and 8 after Sainz started in 20th, managing to get himself all the way up to 8. Fantastic drive by Carlos Sainz today. You got to give him credit.
Yeah, yeah, that was a big thing too. And I also Sainz ran into a. Was he the one that had the bad pit stop or not a good pit stop?
Yes, he had
Something
about an
happened with him,
eight and a
right?
half second pit stop,
Yeah, and
which
he
would basically put him on par
would
with
put him
Norris.
exactly where he is. Yeah,
Yeah,
never
so
mind. It doesn't
it
really
actually
matter,
doesn't
I
end up
guess.
mattering.
Oh wow! If I didn't think about that, he did have the. I forgot. Well, I did know. Gasly did have the 5 second time penalty, so he would be ahead. This could be worse for Hamilton.
He would have been ahead of Hamilton, that's for sure. He would have been pushing Leclerc. Hamilton continued to fall back actually behind Leclerc at the moment.
Yeah, he's running into the my tires are freezing now type deal.
Yeah.
And Ricardo's still he's got no, he's not gonna be able to get to Ocon there. Basically, this is the big fight for everybody right now. Is this or the entertainment of the last few laps is basically here within these last 3 cars, or 4, 5, and 6, or 5, 6, and 7th.
Yeah, Hamilton, Gasly, Norris, Sainz, Stroll, and Ocon. Sainz still owns the fastest lap. It's a 130, down in the 132s. Oh, actually, no. Bottas is going to take it right now with a 131. He's going to take that away from Sainz, give himself an extra point in the championship race. Although I don't know, does Verstappen push here and try to get himself an extra point? Maybe.
He
A
probably
little
could.
cheeky there, maybe.
Probably should. So if you want to watch the last few minutes, remember to subscribe and then go to Discord. You can.
Two
Thank you for
laps to
everybody that's
go
joining
here.
us. Yeah, 2 laps.
2 laps in Istanbul. Actually, nobody spun it out here.
Yeah,
Which
nobody.
is
Well, we've had a few spins.
a few spins,
Tsunoda
but
spun.
nothing crazy. No crashes.
Correct.
Yep. Keeping
Everybody
a
kept
very
it
clean race.
pretty clean. There was good wheel to wheel racing though. I'll be
There
honest.
was.
There was. It was very good. We did see. So I mean, there was still excitement in that sense, but everybody kept it on the track, which was nice to see. Except I guess Alonso and basically just Alonso.
Yeah, Alonso, his day really started with so much promise up there, starting in sixth after a fantastic qualifying, and the first lap puts him down into 17th actually after that first lap, and he's going to end up finishing 16th. It looks like so a really unfortunate day for Alonso, but for the other drivers here for Red Bull, it's going to be a decent finish down in up in 2 and 3. Leclerc's going to come in fourth, it looks like, as Hamilton is now almost 5 seconds behind him. He will finish in
Giovinazzi
fifth.
passes Ricardo.
Giovinazzi passes Ricardo to get himself in 11th. Yeah, not the best day here for Daniel.
Raikkonen also passes Ricardo. Is something?
Interesting.
Did he spin?
Maybe
Or
locked up or.
something? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm trying to look at the timers, but that's kind of weird.
This is gonna
Yeah,
be
our map
actually.
only actually shows the people in the first lap or on the actual lap, or else it would get way too confusing. So it's kind of
This is actually going to be the first win of the season for Bottas.
For
He has
Bottas,
had
right?
8
Yeah.
podiums so far this season, but no actual wins. This will be Bottas's first win of 2021 campaign. Well
Yeah,
done.
excellent race for him. Yeah,
Yep.
seriously. I mean, nothing wrong.
Make that
Great
6
race,
of the
great pace,
last
good
9
weekend,
races
everything.
won from pole here in Istanbul, which remember Hamilton would have been on pole if not for
Yeah,
the
he would
engine
have been on
change.
pole. Yeah, exactly.
But yes, Red Bull not quite able to match the pace of Mercedes here on this track today, and they're just going to have to settle
The
for
last race he
second.
won was last year's Sochi,
Yep.
and
So
I think
almost a
this,
full
yeah,
year.
this could be it. Good for him.
Yeah, and this is going
It's
to
really
be
nice to
he's coming
see.
home
That's
and he
great.
will take the checkered flag.
That was
Valtteri
really good.
Bottas comes in first. A fantastic race here, and he will have the fastest lap to boot. Actually, I think that final lap might have been the fastest lap. He might have beaten his own time there. Verstappen going to come in second. Perez in third. Charles in the Ferrari in fourth. Hamilton in fifth. Gasly sixth. Norris seventh. Sainz eighth. Stroll ninth. And Ocon rounds up your top 10. Ocon did not actually pit. So
He did it.
there you have it. He did it. He made the one stopper.
I guess he would be the math example to where you explain to Lewis what would have happened,
Yeah, let's see.
right?
Ocon's 137 was his latest lap time. I mean, he doesn't have. They don't have the pace of the Mercedes, but yeah, a fantastic race here and a fantastic win for Valtteri Bottas, who will not be racing with the Mercedes next year, but he does get his W for the Silver Arrows here. Fantastic race, and a little bit slower pace than we originally thought, but that's what the weather always a bit of a factor here in Istanbul. So there you go.
Yeah, it was still a really fun race, exciting race, and it it gave us something different today. We've never had to talk about no pits
Yeah, no
before.
potential for no
Never
pit
thought
stops.
I'd ever say that, but I did.
Richard Wallinger, thank you very much for the sub on YouTube.
Thank you,
Much
Richard.
appreciated. Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
All right, well, there you have it. Final thoughts here. I mean, Red Bull did what they could. I think there was really no catching Bottas at all. Like, you just couldn't do it.
No, yeah,
They
I don't
couldn't do
think
it
there
from the
was anything they
start.
could do.
They couldn't do it after the pit stop. But they're probably going to have to end. They're probably going to be decently happy with the 2-3. And this does put Max Verstappen ahead again of Lewis Hamilton in the Drivers' Championship here. About, if we do the mental math, about probably 8 to 10 points, I think.
Yeah, he's about 8 to 10 points, I think it was when it popped up on the screen.
Yeah. So there you have it. 2 weeks from now, we'll have, I guess, what amounts to a Halloween special in
Oh, it's
Austin,
on the
Texas.
weekend of Halloween.
Well, I think it's the week before,
Oh,
technically. It's the 24th, right? It's for Austin. Something like that.
yeah, it is 24th.
All right, it's the week before, but there is no actual race on Halloween there. I don't think. Because we go to the U.S. on the 24th, and then Mexico is 2 weeks after that. So yeah, there is no actual. There's even look at even Bottas' tires themselves have some degradation there
Yeah,
on
exactly.
on
It's
the
pretty neat
inside.
to be able to see it here.
But all right, there you have it. We'll leave things up for you in the Discord, so you can watch the trophy presentation and the interviews here at the end as well. But yeah, a fantastic weekend here for Red Bull with a 2-3 finish, and of course a fantastic win for Bottas, who took it from pole position to the victory. All right. Anything else?
All right.
What do we got?
No, that is all.
I think that's it. We'll leave things up in Discord for you. We'll see you back in 2 weeks for the race in Austin, Texas, here in the United States. That should be a fun one. So join us there. Make sure to hit the sub button to get notified when we go live. And for all of us here at Real Live, have a fantastic rest of your Saturday. Or no, it's Sunday. I can't even remember. It's like they just blend into one in the other. So yeah, thanks everybody. Have a great rest of your Sunday and cheers.